Hello, everybody, and welcome to live stream here today. We do these streams. Yeah, got a ton of really great stuff to. I will give folks a couple minutes, but first, before I get into kind of the meat of what we'll talk about, the improvements, enhancements we've made to wanted to start with a permit. So if you go to the website now, you just enter motion. What you'll see is we have compiled our website and guy here really excited about this but yeah, we totally rebuilt this before we rebuilt on design firm work with us to get this, and yeah, we're really excited by it. So you might expect things you've accessed before still. You can get to our release change log that we do. We keep this updated almost every Wednesday this week because we shipped on third Wednesday. You know, it happens. So stick pretty hard and fast to that though. Just wanted to, yeah, it's something I'm really personally excited on the live stream here. Other than that, I wanted to, kind of start off. I do these these live users, customers, where we've been around for a long time. Answer any questions you have, even if they're not typically. I love getting questions. It gives me a chance to really show you, help you get the value out of this. Co-founders and the rest of our team really put our for nearly 3 years now, you out of it, and yeah, it's not specifically related to this live stream. I'm happy to show you how to use automations, things like that. So back to the release or blog page. Walk through at a very high level. So first off, something to Motion.io. A lot of months we're new features, but down on fixing this Motion.io already, features we have value on, but had not necessarily issues with them that kind of emerged within a lot of, took this month, sat down and say, hey, with our team saying, hey, and then we looked at customer requesting out of this functionality. What do they want to do? And really the theme of update is fixing the paper cuts in issues that, they don't break things that could be improved. So we course of this month, and those improvements we've made kind of break down into 3-day enhancements to additional functionalities, and then Motion.io's message center. The message center is basically where you can to view all in one place. You can kind of see and the message center combines comments. So made a bunch of improvements there. It's months ago, people have just loved. So did a whole round of improvements there. With that, off with the first sort of, and this is going to be like the biggest one. A lot of our team, as well as our customers. However, I want to mention whether that's LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. Please write in with your comments if you see them. I'll even type a comment here now. Send your question. Regardless of where you type them in, everything that gets sent means staying a little bit later. So your thoughts, your questions, any feedback. And even maybe to kick it off, you could tell me, right now I'm in Denver, Colorado. It's 10 a.m. It's finally sunny again, which I'm loving. Weekend outside. Oh, quality is bad. Sorry about that happening there. Let me try. I will switch this to just my standard audio. Jorgen, does that help at all? Let me know. I switched it over to just my MacBook speakers away from my AirPods. So I think that will hopefully fix the issue, but please let me know. Sweet, much better. Thank you all. Then thanks for giving me the heads up. Definitely don't want you to have any issues with being able to hear me as I go through this. It's funny, as you were all writing that in, I got like 3 messages from my team saying audio quality is terrible. No idea what happened there. I use the same setup every week, but cool. So let's go ahead and dive in. So we did a little bit of an overview of the product. I'm going to go into now this product update. I'm going to go into my Motion.io account, and we're going to start off by showing you, as I had mentioned, my favorite thing in this release that I think you all are going to find a ton of value in, and that is our new tasks view. So the My Tasks view has been renamed just Tasks, and let's go in and show you what it looks like now. So when you come into your Motion.io project dashboard here, and this is kind of the sample account that I use to showcase things and take screenshots with. But what you'll see now is previously in the sidebar here, this task or this tab over here was named My Tasks. And we've simply renamed it Tasks. And with that renaming, it isn't just name alone, it includes a ton more functionality for you to use and be able to surface key insights, be able to see, hey, if me or my department are responsible for this part of projects, I want to see everything that's upcoming in the pipeline. I want to look at recent comments, overdue tasks. So what we've done is really entirely revamp this view. And what you can do with it now is you are able to really use it as like this sort of space, this central database for understanding the status of your projects by filtering different tasks and due dates and assignees across all of your Motion.io projects. Because previously, when this was labeled My Tasks, the only thing that you could do is just see tasks that were assigned to you. So internal team tasks that you were responsible for. But now with these filters, you can look at any task across any project and get a sense of where those projects are. So
When you go into the tasks view, it will still default to your tasks, so things assigned to you, but changing that is as simple as selecting a different assignee. So I can select anyone on my team here. I can also toggle to look at client tasks. And then, toggle between different things like looking at, hey, what are the overdue tasks? What is due soon? So I think that a really great way to utilize this view is first and foremost, hey, when you come in the morning, you're using motion.io, great. Maybe you want to go check out the message center and see what you need to respond to. And we'll talk about some of the improvements we've made to the message center as well. And then after you view your new messages, you respond to things, you create new tasks based on messages clients sent. Now, a great workflow, and one that I think naturally lends itself to this new functionality, is you come right into the tasks page, go to your tasks and see, hey, what am I responsible for today? Or if I am a manager of a project, what is overdue? What do we need to follow up about? Even if maybe that's internally with a team member, maybe that's something that client hasn't done yet that's a roadblock. And what are really just the overall statuses of our various projects in motion.io? So we see a question came in from Georgie. Can all users see the list or just admins? So Georgie, right now, any of the team members that you've added to your account would have access to this view if they are added to the project. But with that, we are currently developing roles and permissions. So we have basically in motion.io, if you're not familiar, right now we have just two different roles. There is and I'm going to go to my team page here. There is an admin role as well as a team role. We are, and this is in development right now, going to be releasing additional roles and permissions that provide a lot more sort of granular control over what information client or what information team members can see related to the work that they're doing on that project. So maybe you have, contractors and you want them to see a different aspect of your motion.io account and the projects where, a team member who's, full-time on your team, you want to give them access to a little bit more. But yeah, to answer your question right now, this tasks view is going to be available to all team members in your account. But like I said, stay tuned for another update for us where we are going to be releasing some additional permissions in your to give you more flexibility of what information folks can or cannot see. And thanks for the question. It's a really, really great thing that we've been tackling. We know that roles and permissions are something that people want a little bit more control over, and we're acting on it now. So other than that, some of the questions that we often had received about this, tasks view and the things that you could do with it is people want to know, hey, like, what can I use this for? A lot of the inspiration for sort of refactoring this view was oftentimes for like managers and project admins to look at the status of various projects, see what tasks had been completed, see where the roadblocks are. But at the same time, it's really, really useful for individual team members going in every day, checking out what tasks they're responsible for, recent comments that they maybe need to respond to, as well as things that are overdue and then due soon. One of the filters that I didn't mention, so we have filters for assignees, the status of various tasks, but there's also due dates as well. So this can be a really great way to quickly filter by things that are upcoming in the pipeline. So you could use this next week filter and just see, hey, what is coming up next week, as well as last comment. Looking at things where, hey, there's comments in today or the past day or the past week. So a number of different ways to use this, really flexible, and hope you're all going to find value out of this. And as I go through this, like I've shared a couple of times, thanks for that question, Georgie. Make sure, keep sending in your questions. Happy to cover anything live here today you might have questions about. With that, I wanted to cover sort of the next improvement that we've made, and that is really overhauling the way that you can understand what can a client see in their portal and what's only visible to my team. What do I want to be visible to the client that's not? So actually back on the tasks page, you can see the first example of this. Let me get back into my account here. What you'll see in the tasks page, and we've also added this to individual projects, which I'll talk about in a second, but you are able to see in the tasks view, this new portal column will give you quick insights into what is visible in a client's portal and what is not. So if I go down here and I look for, if I hover over one of these tasks with the sort of green indicator, it'll say right here, gives me a tooltip, active or completed tasks are fully visible to clients in their portals. But then when I go to this draft task, which is something I hadn't sent to the client yet, it'll say, hey, draft tasks are not shown to clients in their portals. So while you can use this in the list view to quickly understand, hey, what is being shown to the client, what is not, this is especially useful in your individual projects, because what you can do is just hop into a project here. And on the list view, you'll see the same column where it describes, hey, what is visible, what is not, and why or why not. And the reason why we chose to do this in terms of add this column, it seems like a small thing, but we kept hearing, especially from our newer users, that they were often confused of like, hey, why can't a client see this certain task? Maybe it was a team task. And that's because, hey, you didn't set it to be a team task. You just set it to, you didn't set it to show in portal. You chose to hide it from their portal. And now you get quick insights of like, hey, well, okay, what's going on there? So if I activate this, that same indicator will show this team task is completely hidden from the client portal. I think that this is especially useful as you're setting up your project templates, but it's also a huge bonus when you're kind of underway, or maybe you're adding new tasks to a project and you want to know specifically like what is the client going to receive updates about, what are the things we would just want to keep internal with our team. And thanks for that comment, Gerald. Yeah, small updates make a big difference. This is great. Love to hear that these things are helping you with your project workflows and with your client management. It's something that honestly, and with almost every single one of the updates we'll talk about today, they all come from our users. People said, hey, I want a way to review projects and see what individual tasks are assigned. Great. Okay, we built that with the tasks view, and we completely refactored our initial idea of that to give people the features and functionality that they wanted. Same goes with this, ability to just see, hey, what's in the client, what's viewable to clients in their portal, what's not, and why. Along that theme, the next thing that we're going to talk about are custom pages in our Motion.io portal sidebars. So on actually the live stream last week, and then another one, I think 2 weeks before, we talked a lot about Motion.io's redesigned client portals. And folks had pointed out a few different things about the new portal design that just really didn't operate as well as they would hope. And what we've done is we went ahead and fixed those as quickly as possible. So one of the things that you'll see, and I'm going to pop into just one of my client portals here quickly, and then I'll reshare my screen. So we have a couple of updates that we have made to client portals since receiving that feedback. And if you can see now on my screen, this is what the new client portals look like. Let me move myself out of the way here. So one of the biggest things that folks identified with the new client portal experience, originally you would come into a project, and the only way to access these custom tabs that you see here would be to actually click into that project. What we have done now is that clients can access any of the custom portal pages directly from the sidebar, as well as still within the individual, if they're viewing the project from this page. But it's a really big bonus because, it just gives them much faster access to that. A lot of folks had kind of been telling us that, hey, I really liked having these pages, these custom pages I set up. I put a lot of time into those. I like clients to be able to access them more easily. And we said, great, they can access them at any time by just clicking this drop-down arrow, going in and accessing those portal pages. But they can also still access them from the top of each project. Another update, this was actually included earlier in the month, but we also now give you the ability to rename these 3 default pages that every portal includes. So you can rename files, messages, and help desk any way you would like within your client portals. The way that you do that, and I'm just going to hop back into my account and out of this client portal view. The way that you do that is you just go to the settings page of your account, click portals, and you can customize these however you'd like. So for example, I could change this to deliverables, and that would update these 3 default tabs anywhere. One thing to note about this is that these do apply to all of your client portals, the changes you make here. So for example, if I would turn this off, the deliverables page that was previously named files wouldn't show in any of my client portals. Or if I rename any of these, those changes will apply portal-wide. The way that you customize and create those custom pages I was showing you just a little bit ago, if you're not familiar already, you do that by going into your individual project. So to show you actually the example I was looking at, I'm going to click portal, and you'll see I've set up these custom pages within this specific project for online schedule, embedded Google Drive, and then a tutorial videos section. So those are customized at the individual project level, and they appear right here. And then the pages that you saw me customize that are account-wide, those are going to appear right here. You see files, help desk, and messages right there. So I'm going to pause there and see, what questions do you have? Are you happy with these changes? We have been hearing from, a couple of our users saying, hey, this is great. The switch back to that is exactly what I wanted. Another thing I wanted to talk to about the new client portal experience, just to, kind of give you all a behind the scenes view of like what's going on. You were so generous enough with your time to join in on this live stream. So you get the special little behind the scenes view of what we are doing. So one of the plans that we have for Motion.io that's currently on our roadmap for the next couple of weeks is we are going to give more control to customize the top banner that you see here. So where it says Client Portal Mariah Moxie, we've had a ton of requests come in for being able to like customize this default banner here on a per company or per project basis. So that is coming to Motion.io. That was like one of the last really, really big requests that we had for a change to the new client portal experience. So rest assured, it is something that we are working on. So now that we've kind of covered the two first primary areas where this release focused on, I talked about improvements to our project management features, as well as improvements to our new client portal experience. And kind of the last area where these updates are grouped together is going to be in the Motion.io message center. So I'm going to go ahead, hop back into my Motion.io account. And let's talk a little bit about the message center. So within Motion.io, if you haven't used it yet, maybe you're not, you haven't officially kicked off any projects or kind of at the early days, the message center is your one home base for your client communications in Motion.io. And we really look at it as a unified inbox, and it combines basically any of the things that clients are sending you. So that can include chat messages they send you. That can include comments that they make in the sidebar of a task. It can also include, and what we've done since releasing this feature is if a client responds to an email that was sent by Motion.io, so a reminder email, for example, if they respond directly to that email without even going into Motion.io, those communications will appear here as well. So it's a really great way to stay on top of the things that clients are sending you. And what we did earlier this month is we now give you the ability for when clients send in comments or messages, what you can do is you can create a task directly out of those messages. Initially, when we launched this feature, it gave you a simplified version of the Motion.io task composer. You couldn't specify whether it was a team or client task. You didn't have access to all of the task options to do things like, attach files or add forms. Now with this release, we've changed it. So if you create a task from the message center, you'll have Motion.io's full task composer, the one that you use and the same interface that you use everywhere else in Motion.io is now also in the message center. So a great example of the way that you can use this is I'm going to show you a task that I created. Basically, this client was asked to leave feedback on their website wireframe. As a side note, super helpful feature within the message center. If you are replying to a comment on a task, you can click this little plus button, which will expand information about the task. So you can get important context like before you respond. So this client sent in a message that says, whoops, realized I attached the wrong logo file when I uploaded our brand assets initially. I'll send you the new file momentarily. What I did here is I created a task from this for one of my other team members to update the client logo on the wireframe. So I put some additional details here, attached the client's new logo, and sent this off to my team member. When you create a task from a client comment or chat message, we've made a number of improvements here to just make it easier to understand, like, hey, what is being worked on? What do I still need to do? When you do create a task from the message center, you'll now have a link to this. This little icon will appear next to it and say, hey, one task created from this message. And then up top, you can very easily go in and view the task that you created. This view task button from the message center that previously, if you can believe this, it actually just linked to the general board. Now, what will happen is if you click this button, it takes you directly to the task. And that was something, again, user identified that was just a little wonky that we said, hey, we need to prioritize a fix for this. So we went in and did that. This ability to convert your client messages into tasks is especially useful for that workflow I talked about a little bit earlier in this webinar where you can set up your day if you're kind of guiding your team members how to use Motion.io is basically, hey, go into the message center, create any tasks for client requests or things that need to be done or you need to respond to, and then go back into that tasks view we showed you and go ahead and knock out your work for that day. So really, with these updates and the combination of those two, really just want to simplify your whole process of using Motion.io in your day-to-day, make it really intuitive to navigate around the platform, complete tasks, and make it so that you and your team are no longer have to be buried in your inbox half the day, searching for files, searching for, hey, what did the client provide? What did they not? And improving that workflow for you as a whole. And Gerald, great to hear that the new features sound exciting. Yeah, it's something that, like I said, we got a lot of requests for, so we're going to do it. It's one of the benefits of being a small team here at Motion.io is we can move super quickly, And if we're hearing things from our users that would be helpful, new functionality, or even just changes to existing functionality, we can act fast. We can get those things shipped. Every single week, we do a product update. So with that, that covers really the primary things that I wanted to chat about during this live stream as they pertain to our new features. But would love to, pause for a second and see, hey, what questions do you have, whether it's about this update, whether it's about other things that you're trying to do in Motion.io. Are there things that you want to do that you can't, that would require some new piece of functionality? Would love to hear feedback from anyone tuning in today from the audience. Really do appreciate you joining us. So in the meantime, I will just go ahead and show you, some other things in Motion.io. Each month in our product update, we also include a number of other smaller things that don't necessarily make the full headline of the release notes. And this month, that list is actually quite long. And we've made a ton of what we call quality of life updates, where it's not necessarily a new feature or new functionality, but things that we've changed that are a little bit more minor, but still add a ton of value to your workflows. So, and I do see that we have a feature request from Gerald. A feature request I have would be the ability to end and clear a chat conversation or project, the ability to start a new one, and the ability to save. So that way it's not just one long thread. That's really helpful feedback, Gerald. I think that, I can see why within the message center, and just for anybody watching this right now, for comments. So for example, on this task that asks this client to provide feedback on a website wireframe, that just contains the comments on this task. But I believe with what Gerald is referencing is the project chat. So if a client sends in something through a project chat, the entire chat history will show there. And basically, what Gerald is asking is hey, can you just kind of erase the first part of that and start anew? Because right now it will show you history. You do always have the option in Motion.io, and one great thing to point out is you can delete these threads so that when a chat comes in, you would know that that's a new message. You can also use the archive option pretty easily, but I do understand that the value, and I can see that right now, the value of totally clearing it. So even if a new chat comes in after you delete it, it wouldn't have any of those previous details or previous communications. So, and thanks for writing in, Gerald. Love to get those features or requests live on stream here. So back to what I was going to share with the quality of life updates that we've made. One of the first things that you'll notice here is easier form building. And this is actually something that's pretty near and dear to my heart, because it was something that was kind of a pain point for me. And great, Gerald, great to hear that is going to be useful for you. Yeah, so you can just go into the message center, click delete, or you can click archive, whatever you want, to kind of move that out of the way. So one of the things, and this was something that I reported. So when you were creating forms in Motion.io, previously the way that this would work, and let me go ahead and share this other tab here, is if you had a super long form and you wanted to add a field to it, say in the middle, you would have to click add new field all the way at the bottom here and drag it all the way up. What we have done now, and shout out to our developer Josh for getting this done for me after my request, is you can add a new field at any point within the form. So what you'll see is when you are editing a form, there will be a line between different fields. You just click add new, and great, boom, you enter your information. So you enter your title, choose your field, and you can add it very easily at any point in the project. So really makes editing forms a lot faster. and adding new fields or new information much, much quicker within the form creation process. Also, as a reminder, if you're not familiar with it, we do give you the ability to add forms and create forms with AI. So if you haven't used this yet, and maybe you're just setting up your account in Motion.io, we definitely recommend you use this feature. It's really useful. Like I can literally even just right now create a form by saying, hey, create a form for the client onboarding process of my marketing consulting company. So I enter a quick prompt, click create, and what you'll see after the AI has time to think is boom, this form is created, and now I can go back in, customize things, or add new fields. But at least it gets you, most of the way there with that initial form creation process. And I see we have a message from Eugene. I would like to see the ability to have Motion.io send a message as a part of automations. For instance, when they finish a certain task, sending them a thank you message or similar. That is a good idea, Eugene, and thanks for sharing that. One of the things I will point out is that in Motion.io and the way that automations work, let me just go into one of my templates here. And you could do this in a template in a project. It operates the exact same way. But I'm going to go into my Motion.io automations, which is where, for anybody newer, you can set up basically triggers, so things that must happen, and then actions, things you want an automation to do. One of the things we have currently in Motion.io, so I'll set up a quick automation. If stage onboarding is completed, then send an email notification. So you can send an email notification this way right now automatically, but to Gerald's point, or sorry, to Eugene's point, it doesn't really give you the ability to send that to a client. So I think that what you are asking for, Eugene, is that you would like to be able to say, hey, with this email notification action, I want to set this to something like client email, and then have the option to specify what content that email notification will include. Does that sound like what you would be wanting to do, Eugene? Am I tracking that correctly? Because if so, I think that that's definitely something that is worth us considering. And I will, log a feature request for you. But yeah, let me know if that's something that would be helpful for you, kind of the way that I mapped that out. And yes, if you, to Austin Elmore, if you are interested in using the platform, would love to have you connect with our sales team. I'll send you a DM after this live stream is over. Eugene, thanks for responding to that. That is correct, or sending within the message center. I see. So sending within the message center, that would be something a little bit different. You can actually already do that. You could very easily respond to a client with, hey, thanks for completing this task. Because this is really, while client communications are in here, you can see right here, I've responded to a comment a client left on a task. With the second part of your question, I think that would maybe be you asking if you could have like templated emails or templated maybe responses in the message center. I would look at that as like a little bit separate from the automations. But yeah, let me know if that's kind of what you are thinking there, and I'll go ahead and we'll log another feature request for you. So back to talking about some of these other quality of life updates. One of the other smaller things that we've added is, especially to forms, is that we've made the required field alerts a lot more sort of prevalent for customers. We were previously having some people write in and tell us that, hey, clients are missing required fields, and then they're just not submitting the form. What we have done now is we've made the form submission process much clearer, with like a very prominent alert of, hey, you've missed this field, and you need to go back and complete it. And then the final thing that we've done with forms, because as you can see here, a number of improvements that we've made here based on user feedback, is we also include the project name in form exports. So there has been functionality in Motion.io for a while now, where if you go to your forms page, you can download all of the submissions for a specific form as a CSV file. This can be useful for transferring data to other tools, being able to, review things or review the types of responses that you're getting just like all at once. Maybe if you want to make a change to a part of your process or your form, maybe you send something out that is a request for customer feedback and you want to look at all of those responses together. So now when you do this, one of the things a user had pointed out to us is that when you did this export previously, it actually wouldn't include the project name alongside the submission. So we've added the project name to the bulk downloading of these form submissions. So now you can very quickly understand, hey, it was this project, but also this person, if they're on multiple projects, that left this response. So small change, but yeah, something really, really useful. We've also added a new notification activity bell, which is going to be included in the top corner of any of your Motion.io projects. So I'm here in this Larry's Laundry Consulting project, and if I click the activity bell, you can see it's always going to be available here, and you can quickly look through recent task activity. And then the final thing included in these quality of life updates are smarter admin email notifications. Previously in Motion.io, what would happen is if you completed a task, Sam, I assign a task to myself. If I would complete that task, it would send me a notification saying that that task had been completed. What we've done is we've refactored some things there. So you don't get notifications for tasks that you were assigned to and you completed. Is something that we just found, was kind of unnecessary because that you completed that task, right? And you can look in and see. It's more important to be notified about tasks that other people have completed, whether that's on your team or whether that is a client. So we've adjusted that by default so that admin users will no longer receive email notifications for their own in-app activity. Really just helps reduce the noise and keeps your inbox nice and tidy if you're using Motion.io. Because that's, a large part of what we want to do is we want to save you from your email inbox so you're not having to spend as much time there. So I want to really give you as many options as needed to, help you manage that communication, help you keep everything in Motion.io. For a quick refresher, as well, if you are new to Motion.io, you do have the ability to customize the email notifications that you receive on a per project or per template basis. The way that you do that is you come in to the settings page, you come into your account, click your name in the bottom left corner and click notifications. And on this page, you are able to set your notification preferences for both projects and templates. I typically recommend that folks set their notifications at the template level first. And then, let's say, hey, this Tate's Tater Tot project, it's going a little bit off the tracks. Maybe it's like overdue. We're waiting on a bunch of stuff from the client. And maybe what I want to do is that even though I turned off notifications for this, I now want to set it to daily. So I can get daily notifications just for this specific project without having to necessarily edit my template. And I can really configure things much easier on a specific per project basis. Oh, and I realized I wasn't sharing that screen. Sorry, I'll show you how to do this again. So this is that notifications tab. Basically, click your name, click notifications. And then on this page, you can filter by projects and templates. For the refresher, I typically recommend set your notifications for templates first. And then if there's individual projects that are higher priority, set your notification preferences just for that project on the Projects tab. And Eugene, thanks for following up about that question. Yes, that is correct. And being able to send that templated message or email as part of an automation. Thank you. Super helpful clarification. It's one of the things that has been on our minds. And one of the things that we've talked about for a couple months is the idea of, hey, what are like the components that people are reusing a lot within Motion.io? Things like specific messages that they send a lot, specific tasks that they might add ad hoc to a project. And I won't share too many details on this just because it's something we are still discussing internally. But we have an update planned in the future that basically we're going to have this idea of components in Motion.io. So things that you reuse again and again and again that you can change or update across a bunch of projects at once and very easily plug and play into specific projects. And I think that, you know, the idea of having a templated message in one form or another is a really great idea for that. So I'll make sure we log a feature request for you there, Eugene. So got another 10 minutes or so here left in the live stream today. I will finish up. I've talked about everything to chat about on my end, but I'll leave it open to questions for a couple more minutes. What do you want to know about Motion.io? What do you think about these updates, this release? Is there anything that I can help you with? Happy to troubleshoot anything with you, live here on the stream. We've been doing these live streams every week now, sticking really close and tight to that schedule. So be on the lookout for that. I'm also going to be, now that our website is redesigned, putting up a page on our website that allow you to look at all planned events, everything coming up. I will share that page with everyone once I get it created, but that'll be a really great way to track when you can join in on these things, because I've been having a lot of fun with these live streams. It was something that in the earlier days of Motion.io, about, I would say 2 years ago, we tried doing the standard webinar format. Hey, enter your email, show up at this specific time. But since switching to this live stream way of doing things, I've found that number one, a lot more people show up. Number two, you get a lot more questions, and it feels just like a really sort of communal space where we can come chat about Motion.io, chat about what's new, and you can speak with me in real time, one of the co-founders here, and I can help answer your questions. So if there are no other questions, I think we'll probably call it a day for today. But as I'd mentioned, we'll be doing another live stream next Friday. We'll send details out about that next week. And as always, if you need help or have questions about Motion.io, don't hesitate to email us. Our email, super simple, just hello@motion.io. Looking forward to hearing from you, and have a great Friday and a great weekend, everyone. Take care.